Welcome to Two Hotties and a Naughty, a podcast about life's little victories, hotties, and constant disappointments, naughties. Here are your hosts, Michael Beck, Slice Hicks, and Dwight Slappy.
Welcome to Two Hotties and a Naughty. I'm Dwight Slappy.
I'm Slice Hicks.
And my name is Michael Beck.
Okay, I won the polls last week, so I get to pick our first topic. And I've decided to choose, what is your hottiest comfort blank? And I say blank because I first envisioned this as a TV show, because that's what I do for comfort. But I'm going to expand it to music, movies, a book, media, I guess. What is your favorite comfort? What is your hottiest comfort media? I had to think a while about this. Typically, my answer is immediately The West Wing. I will turn on The West Wing and be happy. But The West Wing is so far from what we currently live in that it's almost mocking me at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I have actually turned into full-on, I detest The West Wing now. It's too bad, because I used to really enjoy it, but now it just makes me angry. You know.
I mean, what, the idealism of it? Or has reality seeped in too much?
The reality has seeped in too much. The idea that Republicans were ever public-spirited people interested in compromise and a better country is flat. I mean, it was flatly ridiculous at the time, but now is a grotesque joke. And I don't like how much attention, like, the press secretary gets. I don't think we should even know who the press secretary is in real life.
Like, we should know who it is if it's Miss Allison Janney.
Well, yes, of course, she's wonderful. Like, I love almost everyone on The West Wing.
Yeah. If we disqualify The West Wing, then my normal second place champion would be Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But now I have to worry about Joss Whedon and his allegations. So where do I go after that?
Shit.
Yeah. Let's go with music. No, everybody. I like a lot of classic rock, and everybody has horrible allegations against them. You know what? I love Neil Gaiman. Fuck.
Oh, no.
Fuck.
Yep. Comedy, maybe, that new Louis C.K.
the
album.
films of Harvey Weinstein.
No, Louis C. No. You know what? It's these modern times. Let's go back further. I like a classic Bill Cosby album. It's just me and the vinyl.
Oh, too far back. No.
Too far back? Oh, shit.
Yeah, too far back. That was really problematic. We just didn't find about it until later.
Oh, okay.
If you're on one of those Weinstein brother movies, something action-driven. Oh, no. There is no escape.
Bill Maher hasn't made any weird, crazy, awful turns lately, has he?
My parents' favorite comedian, Bill Goddamn Maher.
Oh, no.
I mean, they're doing their best. They're doing their best. I'm trying to talk them into anyone else, but we'll see.
Okay, well, surely my favorite sitcom of all time, News Radio. No one on News Radio has done anything that can affect me while I'm watching the show, right?
Dwight, are you referring to our colleague, Joe Rogan?
Oh, I didn't even think about Joe Rogan. As long as Andy Dick's done nothing.
That's what I was trying to determine which one was.
I was thinking of both of them.
Oh, okay.
Now, if one of you fuckers tells me that Moritz here and he's done something awful, I will close my laptop right now. What I'm saying, I don't have I used to have firm answers to what I would go to. And right now it's Parks and Rec and Justified, and that might change tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say you have some really sadistic comforts there. So.
If we go back to News Radio, though, what about like the life's work of Stephen Root? the
I do
portrayer
love me
of
some Stephen Root. Yes.
Yeah. See, there we go. And Stephen Root's someone who anything he's in, he makes better. I think.
Yeah, like The West Wing. Shit, we're back to The West Wing.
Damn it. There is no escape.
Even True Blood. He had a little arc on True Blood.
What was he in True Blood? I never got that far in True Blood.
He would, and this is a long time ago, but he was a vampire who I think had conflicting ideas about like being a vampire, and so he sort of led this sort of tragic shut-in life. I think. Okay. If I remember.
We apologize to all of the hardcore True Blood fans that are throwing their phone across the room now.
We're butchering the lore, just
That's right. Within the next year, we'll start a hardcore True Blood rewatch podcast, and we'll cosplay during it. So
yes,
all is Stephen Root.
Slice, what's your go-to comfort guy?
So that's hard because, I do love music, and I don't watch as much television and movies as I used to. I think that kind of changed whenever having kids, and, I don't really want to watch the things that they watch. It's all skibbity toilets and things along that nature. I don't need that in my life.
What a great turn it would have been if you would have just answered, "Hey, have you guys seen Skippity Toilet?"
Skippity Toilet?
It just
really
puts
good.
me in the right place mentally.
Between that, Blippi, and that little kid that's like a millionaire that reviews toys, things are great in my life right now. Oh, and don't even get me started on Caillou. Really swell kid. No, I would go the route of video games. It's just always kind of been my go-to, and I've kind of gravitated back towards that. It's just something I can jump on, and I can play something. If I have like 15, 20 minutes to kill, I'll hop on a certain type of game where I can just play a round or two of something, do that, teamwork or whatever. Sometimes it's incredibly toxic and it's not comforting in the least. Whenever I've got a 12-year-old out there telling me about how much he humped my mom last night, that's not comforting at all. Or that I suck and that I need to uninstall the game and kill myself. It's really not a very good comfort there. So that's why I keep the voice chat on mute, and I don't listen to any of those 12-year-olds, and I try to avoid when I see them spamming my screen with things telling me how bad I suck. But other than that, I have a pretty good time. I still
Is there a game you go back to over and over and over again?
Oh yeah. You know what that game is? It's called.
But maybe the audience doesn't know.
I know.
Look at me hosting.
Really driving this bit here. Yes, it's World of Warcraft. I am that guy who just can't escape its grasp. But between that and Destiny 2, they just keep siren songing me back into them. It's that dopamine rush of getting an item I've been wanting to and working hard, endlessly every week. There's a whole lockout system and all this stuff, and just keep working at it. And finally I get it. It pays off. It's like winning the lottery, and then it's on to the next piece that I need to really complete this or that. And
these are games that you can never truly beat, right?
Right. It's never ending. They just roll out new expansions every year or so, and it just keeps going, keep evolving, more loot. I guess that's the thing, is like I'm very materialistic when it comes to video games. If it's not loot driven, it just can't sink its hooks into me. So
it doesn't sound healthy.
No, it's really not. It's but I guess it's better than gambling. So
well, depends on if you're winning or not.
Yeah, depends, right? That is very true. But yeah, I mean that's what my comfort's been. I'll also, back in the day, I used to I have two screens here at my computer, and I would play WoW on one and then put something on Netflix on the other, kind of multitask. But as I got older, my brain doesn't work that well anymore, and I have to focus on one thing at a time, because then I'll look over and be like, oh shit, like 3 people died during this episode and I don't know who they were. Like, so it really just kind of, I had to give that up. But yeah, video games, man, love them.
Yeah.
Beck?
Yeah. It's funny. Dwight, I'm thinking through things that I used to do for comfort, and I'm having the same sort of issue. Like, hey, drinking used to be for me.
Wasn't it great?
Don't do that anymore.
It was so good.
I mean, and it does feel better in general and is good for me. I understand all of that. and a lot of shows I used to enjoy don't get the same kind of enjoyment out of them anymore. It does help that the music that I listen to involves only people who've been dead for many decades. So their crimes are far in the past. So no one cares about them, and their crimes were also committed against people who are also already dead. So listen to all the Sinatra you want, kids. It's fine. It's fine.
Nothing problematic there.
No, and I'm sort of surprised that I think I'm gonna have to steal Slice's comfort. What I really do when I'm really bummed or really stressed out now is I will pop an edible and play a few hours of video games, and it is astonishing how relaxing and how it can just click off my brain for a little bit. I wish I could say, oh, well, I read a dense and difficult novel to unwind, but now I don't do that anymore to release stress anyway. And the video games.
I read Ulysses once a month.
Just the title, just that word, Ulysses, not the. I mean, every once in a while, if I get really invested, I'll read by James Joyce. But then, like, I'm fatigued. No, and the video games I enjoy are open world video games usually. I've spent I don't know how many hundreds of hours in Red Dead Redemption 2 just being a naturalist. Just traveling around the world, hunting and skinning and roasting and eating deer and collecting wildflowers. And it's and obviously I don't want to do any of this shit in real life. Like,
no. It sounds gross and sticky. I don't like it.
Yes. No, God. Outside, guns, old-timey times. I don't want any of that shit. No.
When I get to play video games, this is what I like too. I will occasionally get back on the World of Warcraft boat. I did recently with Slice and our friend Jason, and we had this discussion. Oh, it's going to be nice. We'll all get on there. We'll play together. And I'm like, that sounds great. Because what I want to do is run around. I want to open the map up. I want to go to places I haven't gone in the game. While these two psychopaths are just trying to get their characters maxed out for the 150th time.
Seen it all, done it all. The
and
real game begins at 60.
Old friend Dwight's back in the dust. Like, oh, gives a shit about that guy.
I tried to slow it down a bit. Jason just went gung-ho, and one day he was 60, and I was like, whoa, I'm only 42, and Dwight's 33, so yeah.
So you
much
chose
for
a
playing
path
together.
at that time. You said, I can hang out with my friend Dwight, or I could go down the dark wooded path that our friend Jason's at.
I did not. It still took me a while to get to 60, so I kind of, I dragged my feet a little bit, but then I never saw you on, so then I was like, well, guess I got to do this alone. Join some rando guild with a bunch of stoners.
It's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's my fault.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Now, I can't emphasize enough how, even though I have, in my old age, come to embrace video games, how incredibly boring it still is to have to hear about World of Warcraft.
Right. All right, guys, I'm going to kick things off for our homegrown hotties this week. And I'm going to go with a little something called tattoos. I myself got a nice large tattoo yesterday. I had the pleasure of finding a new artist here in town. He was amazing, Alex Ratliff at Prestige Tattoos here in Huntington, West Virginia. He was above and beyond. I had a concept. I told him, kind of gave him a design. He did it. I love it. Right now, it doesn't look so good because it was just done yesterday and it's kind of seeping out plasma and ink. But for anyone watching on YouTube, I mean, I'll give you another look another time. But it's right there. It's upside down. I'll show you the finished product later when it looks good.
Yeah, we'll throw it on Instagram.
Well, there it is.
Yeah. But I always love tattoo. I love art in general, and especially just some of the really cool designs that these artists come up with and just what they can do. Like our friend Jason, he got a really cool patchwork tattoo. I guess those have been very popular. It was like something his daughter created, right?
Yeah, it's like one of her first drawings.
Yeah, and he got it kind of, it looks like it's embroidered, like, or just sewed onto his skin. Very cool. And there's just so many neat things you can do, different styles, whether it's like Japanese, American traditional, neo-traditional, illustrative. It's just, and I learned, as you may, if you've listened to previous episodes, you know that one of my wife and I, our comforts, going back to that, crappy reality TV. Now, this isn't necessarily crappy reality TV, but I do love the show Ink Master, which is a contest from tattoo artists trying to compete and win like $100,000 or so, but just tattoo artists from different backgrounds. And through watching the 16 seasons of that, I, have picked up a little bit about tattoos and, what the rules of the different types and styles are. But
was that the show with Dave Navarro?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, Dave Navarro, and there's been a few others on there too. The guy from Good Charlotte, I think, that was married to one of the Duffs, Hillary or Haley Duff. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Totally misread my demographic here for a minute.
I was doing all I could to cling to tattoos.
Now you guys know how I feel when you talk about West Wing. I was just sitting here like, I know that actor. Oh, him? I think I know him. Cool. Dave Navarro, right.
You know who they should get, who's got a great tattoo, is Popeye.
Yes. I mean, that's a classic. That's an example of classic American traditional right there. Those anchors, that's it. Those clean, bold lines. That's what I'm talking about. What about you guys? Do you guys have any tattoos?
Beck, do you have any tattoos?
Oh,
you go first, because I think the answer is no.
Yeah, I mean, is you two as my friends, and as the listener knows, my body is a temple.
Right.
So, obviously, I don't disgrace it with ink.
Here's how to tell the difference between me and Beck. If you get confused, I have a tattoo. Beck has all the piercings. Those are the two.
Can't take
one
this
of us
guy
can go through a metal detector. Yeah.
all of the piercings.
I have a very shitty Elvis Costello tattoo on my right arm that I did not plan for. Me and Justin McElroy went to get tattoos spontaneously one day because our significant others were getting piercings, and we were like, we're going to do something too. So, we didn't check out the guys that were doing our tattoos or anything. Justin's is much better. Justin has a They Might Be Giants tattoo on his forearm that he got at the exact same time. But he's had it touched up since then. I have decided to just raw dog my bad tattoo. It's terrible.
Nothing wrong with that.
Really bad. I mean, it's all black. It looks like I have a. I went to a prison with great music taste. Is what happened. My cellmate was a guy who worked the doors in the 70s at CBGB's, and this is what he gave me.
With just a paper clip and a ballpoint pen. He did some real work on you.
I have all these plans to make it better than it is, but I keep going back. It's like, well, I could spend hundreds of dollars to make it better, but in the middle is still going to be that shitty black tattoo that I got at the beginning. I can throw all the color at it Jackson Pollock style, but it's still going to have that shitty black tattoo in the middle.
At the core, he will always
deep
be
in its
there.
heart, deep in its black heart. I did think, since it's all black, I did think about getting it covered with a big Mothman tattoo.
Ooh, yeah, that's a great idea. That would be really fun.
That would be fun.
Coco likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to ask if everyone can hear my Labradoodle Coco in the background there.
We can hear it. It's no big deal.
She's
People
just a
have
huge
dogs.
Mothman fan. She loves Mothman. Nothing wrong.
Everyone loves dogs.
I've had a stray cat marking itself against the window right in front of me since we started this segment. I hope no one can hear Snickers outside. And she's just headbutting it over and over and over again.
That's what that was.
Yeah. I've paid that cat to do that during the recording.
This podcast was your idea, Beck. Why are you sabotaging it now?
It's my understanding that's what we do in this country. We take things that are good and then shit all over them.
Tear them down.
I'm jealous. Where's my surprise animal? I don't have anything coming to my window back here. Even see anyone who's watching on YouTube could see it right there too.
Man, if we had any kind of budget, we would CGI a kangaroo kicking Slice in the face right now.
Well,
that kangaroo of meme that's very ripped.
Yeah, the rip. Yeah, Jack
no.
kangaroo.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that guy scares me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So my homegrown hottie this week, I'm going to go in a different direction. The happy divorce. The happy divorce is a beautiful, wonderful thing that's good for the people involved and good for society. But Crystal and I are not getting divorced. We are very happy. We hope to remain married for at least the next 2 to 4 years. But we have some friends who just recently have finalized their divorce. I mean, one of the parties involved is our friend, and she has finalized her divorce, and it's great. It's great that they were able to do this, that she was able to get a fair deal in our legal system. It's not been so many decades ago when women, especially in a state like West Virginia, weren't necessarily able to get a divorce period, much less one that was able to provide them with financial support for them and their children. Yeah, and it's I know there's not a lot of comedy here, but this is a genuinely good, positive thing that I'm really happy for my friend and her family for this.
Absolutely. I had one of these.
Hey, yeah.
I had one of these.
Yeah.
No lawyers involved. Just a amicable split. Went our separate ways. Still friends to this day. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's really nice to not have to involve lawyers. The judge actually asked us several times if we were sure. We were like, yeah, we're real fucking sure.
Yeah.
Super sure.
Now, I should say our friend who got divorced did have a lawyer, and there was a lot of acrimony in the divorce process. Oh. I mean, the good thing is that the divorce has happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we all define happiness differently.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you guys have plans for your divorces when they come?
I was thinking about doing like one of those boat parties like the big NFL players do, that they kind of usually get suspended from the team for. Yeah. It's not going to be as fancy. It'll probably be like a little bass boat on the Ohio River, but still, it'll be a good time.
I remember from The Sopranos, you're supposed to go to every lawyer in town and pay them for something. That way they're technically your lawyer, and that way your significant other your spouse won't have a great lawyer to choose from. I had a friend of mine tell me this as a real thing that they were doing, by the way. And it's totally from an episode of The Sopranos.
Yes. I remember that arc in The Sopranos. Yeah. That's oh man, yeah. Like, do people understand that The Sopranos was not a legal documentary? No, I guess is the answer.
Based on a true story.
Right. That's the life of Mr. Tony Danza. A lot of people don't realize.
They don't know. They changed it. They tweaked it a bit, just the name, but that's the Tony Danza story.
Well, speaking of things that some of our listeners aren't going to find very funny. My homegrown hottie this week is hockey playoffs. That's right, sports, everyone. Usually I go away from sports in the podcast because I think we're isolating a large number of you. But it's that time of year, hockey playoffs. It's the best TV sport is just this time of year with hockey. It's so intense. The crowds are crazy. I used to love hockey. I was a big Philadelphia Flyers fan in the 90s into the early 2000s. And then that league had a lockout or strike. I can't remember which.
Right.
And they instituted a salary cap, and all the teams changed. The locations didn't change, but basically they just shuffled up all the players, and that none of the players I loved were still on the team I was rooting for. That paired with the couple times I've been to Philadelphia, and that being a giant cesspool, made me abandon my. Shout out to all our Philadelphia listeners. That made me abandon. What's that?
I was just saying I enjoy Philly. The times
okay.
There, so.
That made me abandon that fandom, and I still love the sport. I tried to get back into it a few years ago. I'm a giant Buffalo Bills fan in football, so I said I'm going to be a Buffalo Sabres fan, and they are the worst franchise in sports. And I've been through enough heartache, everybody. I don't need to, this late in life, hitch my wagon to some shoddy-ass franchise. So I'm just rooting for, there are two teams left. One's from Florida. Hockey does not belong in Florida, everybody. There's no reason for them to have professional hockey in Florida. Nowhere where it's hot. Get out of here. And they were playing the Edmonton Oilers. And Canada hasn't won this championship since 1993. So,
wow.
I think Canada deserves this one. So I'm rooting for the Canadian team, Edmonton, because America can stick it right now.
Hey, I like it. And there's been some really good series in this year's playoffs, some really close ones. And I remember watching some of who was it? It was the Blues, and they kind of got discounted and thought, they're going to get destroyed. Who were they playing? They took it to Game 7.
Oh, see, now you're asking details. I'm just watching the games, man.
You're living in the moment. Sorry.
That's right.
Here I am.
It's about the atmosphere. It's not about.
That's right. Yeah, I tried to get into hockey several times, kind of like you did. We didn't have it. There was no Columbus Blue Jackets whenever, was growing up in Ohio. Yeah. So kind of hitched my wagon to the Detroit Red Wings because I had family up in the Detroit area and we would go visit them. So like Sergei Fedorov, I had a Sergei Fedorov jersey when I was in junior high. And
when you were growing up, they were really good.
Yeah.
What an easy decision to make.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was basically a Cowboys fan, essentially, at that point. But, I had family there, and that's what they introduced me to. So, but then, that strike happened, fell out of it. Then I think it was like you could only watch hockey on pay-per-view for a while. And I don't know. You had to have something.
It was just on NBC Sports for like 12 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So.
It would be easy for me to just become an Edmonton fan because they have the best player on earth in Connor McDavid, and they're from Canada, which is a place that should play hockey. But I'm afraid if I grab hold of a front runner now, I will be punished in other sports I care about more later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid
bad mojo.
Me buying Oilers merchandise will cost me a Buffalo Bills Super Bowl down the line in sports.
100%. 100%. Don't want that. Beck, are you much on the hockey front?
I have been replaying our earlier conversations about World of Warcraft and tattoos to pass the time.
We're going to have to really start rethinking these hotties. Like, we got to really...
Guys, I only like 4 things.
Beck, can you ice skate?
I went ice skating once. My Aunt Betty thought it was important for me, she and a bunch of old Irish women in my family were really raising me to be a little fancy man boy. And she thought, oh, it's important that he ice skate like Hans Brinker, And so she took me to an ice skating lesson. And as soon as I stepped out onto the ice, I slipped and hit my head and began to cry because I was 5 or 6. I would also begin to cry now if I hit my head on ice, I'm sure. And my Aunt Betty got me and said, don't worry, you never have to do this again. And anytime for the rest of my life someone has tried to get me to ice skate, I've said, my Aunt Betty said, I don't have to do this ever again.
Thank you, Aunt Betty.
Welcome back, everyone. My naughty this week is one that I think everyone can get behind. My naughty is Facebook. And there are 10,000 reasons to have Facebook on the naughty list. But I have a personal vendetta reason this week. I have a personal vendetta reason for most of my naughties, I suppose. But Facebook in particular, my lovely wife, Crystal, keen listeners will know her as the voice of Two Hotties and a Naughty, our announcer. My wife, Crystal, was permanently banned from Facebook a few days ago because she shared a quote from the American politician Harvey Milk, also an icon in the LGBTQ rights movement. Just a very generic, inoffensive quote from him that was flagged by either someone on Facebook or just some AI bot. And her account was suspended, and Crystal appealed the suspension, and then her account was permanently disabled by Facebook. And in the horrifying fascist politics of this aside, the thing that really sucks is Crystal had used Facebook Messenger to communicate with her late Nana and her late father, and she lost years of correspondence, especially between her and her grandmother. It's just poof, gone. And it's really a bummer, and it's a bummer that a company that's a total black box controls just so much of the way we communicate now. And I know this is a comedy show, and I know that all of my hotties and my naughty this week have actually been pretty serious. So if we can do a whoopee cushion effect or something right now, that
let me ask
help.
this. Can you ask Crystal for advice to get my mom banned from Facebook permanently? Because if she shows me another goddamn AI image that she thinks is real, I'm going to go nuts.
Yeah. See, just take her phone and then post a bunch of things about like diversity, equity, inclusion, all of that. She'll be suspended in no time on Big Zuck's platform there.
Pictures of men with 2 eyes and 5 fingers on each hand. Like the Facebook will definitely ban that.
What is this?
No room for that. We need dogs morphing into people and babies talking about things with alligator bodies. Yeah.
I did actually, to promote this very program, not this episode, all of our program, I ventured onto Facebook for the first time really in years, basically, a few months ago, and was horrified to realize that I'd been pushed into following the goddamn president and the goddamn vice president, who I am certain I have never clicked to follow. And right then I started to realize, wait a second, there's some stuff going on that's bad at Meta.
If you had been hanging around before then, you would have felt it coming. It was slowly.
Yep.
And this is the most depressing bit of this at all. The most depressing bit of this of all. I realized just today I have had a Facebook account for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gross. It's
Very-
very
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gross. It's gross.
I mean, the reason I still have one is because of Messenger, and a lot of people use it as a calendar, evites, things like that. Honestly, it would be really easy to get rid of if so many people weren't using it. Of course, I got rid of Twitter, and everybody, I don't know, national media brands and everything are still using Twitter like nothing's wrong over there. But I deleted Twitter. Life's been better since.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Messenger and Marketplace. I'm a sucker for Marketplace, not even necessarily to buy things, but just to browse the kind of shit that people are selling. I sent you guys that picture yesterday of a sweet Fred Durst painting that someone's selling in Chillicothe.
So let's weigh things out. Sure, Crystal got banned, and she's lost all that correspondence. But there's that Fred Durst painting.
I mean,
There's a hand painted
it's the give and
picture
take.
that is obviously Fred Durst.
100% Fred Durst.
We're gonna have to throw that on our Instagram too. You guys, I mean, if you've never been moved by art, prepare yourself.
It is breathtaking.
So, when my Facebook usage really wound down, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6. I don't know how time works anymore. But when it did, one of the things I did for several years was I hid virtually everyone I know in my feed. There were like 10, maybe 15 people I didn't hide. All of you, of course, were always carefully preserved, so I would get every update. But everyone was hidden. You and the Facebook group Disapproving Corgis. And every time I saw a picture of a corgi in my feed, I mashed that button for show me more of this. And eventually, for like a glorious year, Facebook was nothing but a collection of corgi images for me. And it was good and pure. And then even that just started to become too weird and political.
Do you want to give out Crystal's live journal now that she's off Facebook for people?
It's MySpace, Dwight. It's MySpace.
E-circles.
Her GeoCities page is pretty sweet. I've seen it. It's got all this animated GIFs.
This actually was the instigating incident for her to move over to Blue Sky, where there are dozens of us.
Please follow us on Blue Sky so somebody does.
The day someone that I personally don't know follows us on Blue Sky, I'm gonna send everyone $100 or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You heard it here, everybody.
Yep, I got to pay someone $20 to follow us that you guys don't know.
That's
It's
right.
called
Work
profit.
that system. Work the system. All right.
This was not a legal guarantee of $100. I repeat, this is
Bullshit.
not
You
a
heard
legal
it.
guarantee.
Everybody out there, you heard it. Too late.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only, I guess.
This is legally binding.
Remember when the show was about entertainment purposes?
Good times.
Before we sold out to Big Sad. Yeah. Right.
I was seriously considering replacing the naughty of my wife's band from Facebook with this huge zit I've noticed in the middle of my nose while we've been recording, which would have been funnier. But hey, if you're watching the show on YouTube, you will already know about the huge zit in the middle of my nose. So.
That would have ruined the surprise for next week that Zit is co-hosting with us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my naughty is, I don't know how to frame this. I'm just going to say my allergist. uh, because he's got me on some new medicine. He's got me on Dupixent because I have nasal polyps. It leaves me with like constant sinus infections. So I'm on this new medicine, and I've got other health issues. And I asked him, I was like, will this interact with anything else I'm taking? Because you're going to a lot of trouble to get this approved through my insurance. Will this interact with anything? And he looks me dead in the eye and says, well, just Google it. Whatever that AI says is right. That's the best way to find out.
So you went to Dr. Nick. Dr. Nick is your allergist.
Hi, everybody. Yeah. And I repeated, I was like, you want me to Google it and do whatever the AI says? He says, yeah, that's the best way. I was like, okay.
This is Skynet medicine now.
I did it right in front of him. I was like, I guess it's good, right? He's like, yeah, that's good. All right.
Still breathing?
Sign you right. Up. I looked up later in more, prestigious journals, and it was fine. But like, is he telling everyone this? And then I went to it's an injection that I have to get every 2 weeks, and the first dose is 2 injections. And I go in, and his nurse's assistant, or they're not nurses, they're PAs or nurses' assistants. And they take me to the back and they give me an injection. They're like, okay, see you in 2 weeks. And I leave. And then I look on my phone. I'm like, wait, I was supposed to get 2 injections. I walk back in. I was like, was I supposed to get 2 injections? They're like, oh, yeah, I'm glad you said something. It's not my job to say something.
On the bright side, at least they're not a surgeon. So,
I said to the woman at the counter, the one who's running the office, obviously, I said, I think I'm supposed to get 2 injections. She disappears, and then I heard her say loudly throughout the entire office, read what their prescription says. This is not something she should be having to tell people in the back.
Ooh. Yeah.
But anyway, that was a few days ago, and I feel great. I just feel...
Things are really going well in this country, I think. Things are right on track.
Besides the blood coming from my ears and eyes due to interactions with other medicines, but Google AI said it was legit. It's cool.
I almost said doctors, but then I would be murdered. So doctors aren't my naughty, though. You're talking about your nose and you having that zit. I have right here. You guys have seen me right here. You would think I had my nose pierced at some point, but there's just a big old, I'm sorry, I'm way too close to the mic. There's a big old divot in my nose. Why is there a big divot in my nose? Yeah, because I was being fed through a tube through a medical procedure for about 3 weeks. And they just didn't do a very good job of cleaning it. So it scabbed over where the tube was taped to me. And when they took it off, just a divot now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad for you that like you didn't get a gangrenous nose or something. Jesus, that's
right.
Yeah,
but
that
it
was
does
the
look
same
kind of
week
cool.
I got COVID for the first time from the guy who they put in the room with me. They didn't test it before they put him in the room with me.
Consider it a souvenir, then. All
Right.
those memories, those great memories.
That's a war story.
That's your battle scars right there.
You see this?
See this? You wonder how I got this scar? Oh, well, my naughty is also medically related this week.
I love being 44 years old.
Exactly. Well, wait till I hit you with what exactly it is. You would think that I was 64 years old. But it's gout. Yeah, the gout. Something you probably thought wasn't even real. Probably just only characters in Charles Dickens novels came down, or, cafeteria workers and Adam Sandler songs. That was my first experience of learning of the word gout. Well, I've been learning of it a little more through the incredibly excruciating pain in my lower part of my big toe at night that has kept me up since about a little after 1 a.m. this morning. So my apologies if I'm dragging some ass today, but yeah, it's been great walking or trying to walk on my heel on the right side. Yeah, I've really got a lot accomplished today. So you guys know, but our listeners don't. I have a wide assortment of inflammatory conditions, ranging from ankylosing spondylitis, irritable bowel syndrome. I've had a bout with Henoch-Schönlein purpura, all these fun ones. Basically, I collect inflammatory conditions like Pokemon, and I'm on my quest to catch them all before it's all said and done, apparently, against my will.
Osteoarthritis, I choose you.
Yeah, right. Rheumatosis, go. So it sucks. It really sucks. And so I had to, and because I got this sweet tattoo yesterday, I'm not supposed to take anything that will thin my blood, aka like a lot of these like ibuprofen or other things like that. I'm not able to use. And unfortunately, right now, I also don't have health insurance because I'm in between jobs. So I can't really go in and try to get anything that would actually, is designed to treat the cause for gout. So it's just kind of, hobble around and take it easy going up and down stairs. And yeah, it feels great to be in my 40s. It's pretty sweet. You guys ever had any inflammatory or maybe gout yourself?
Slice, I can't tell you how happy I am that one of us has gotten a disease classically associated with overweight millionaires, and it's not me. This makes me so happy. I'm sorry about your gout. I'm sorry, but I'm glad it's not me.
I nailed the overweight part. Millionaire, I'm still working on, but
Beck, I can't imagine how happy you're going to be when it's two of us on this podcast has had this disease.
Gout bros.
Gout bros.
Woo! Gout it out.
When I was living my most debaucherous lifestyle, living in downtown Huntington, right next to all of my favorite bars and living a block away from a buffalo chicken restaurant, let me tell you, sir, one day I woke up and I couldn't move my right foot. It was just locked in a position. Everything was inflamed. I was dragging it around. And I didn't think it was gout until several older friends of mine said, you know what that is? It's gout. Oh, great. Slice, if we're talking non-medical, drink so much water.
That's what I'm doing.
Drink so much water.
Well, that's what's crazy. It's like I have not had an alcoholic beverage in over 10 days now. Nice. And now it comes for me. I'm about to go pick up a beer right now because apparently when I was drinking, I was fine. When I stopped, that's when this shit happened. And I've been drinking water like crazy. I mean, a lot of carbonated water, but it's still water and regular water too.
Carbonated water, it's not as good for you as regular water. No. Any carbonation
dries you out
because it's got a little sodium in there. So
okay, gotcha. Hey,
the
0 milligrams. 0 milligrams of sodium in this bad boy.
That's right. The thing that killed me is the bar next door started offering $1 Fireball shots.
Oh no! Yeah, that'll do it.
That led to a lot of problems.
That delicious cinnamon flame.
I can get there. You know what? I'm just going to name this. I'm going to name this little buddy. I'm going to name him Fireball. This little guy's Fireball.
There he is.
This little Fireball.
When I was a little boy, my father's friend, Joe Shumsky. Hello, Mr. Shumsky, if you listen to the show. Joe Shumsky had gout. And Joe Shumsky was the most well-off person I knew growing up as a little boy. So, Mr. Shumsky, I'm also glad that you had gout. Nicely conforming to stereotype there. And he was about our age, I guess, when he had it. So
we should figure out if he's still around, so he and Slice and I can start our Gout podcast next week.
Yes.
Oh, he's very much still alive. Yeah.
Okay, or Beck, you could make a commitment to the pod and give yourself Gout this week.
Mm-hmm. I want you to go buy the biggest piece of red meat, some shellfish, all the beer you can handle.
Salt it real good.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see you next week, Gout Bro.
I've been eating nothing but just fistfuls of briny shrimp. I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on.
Are they
I have your
deveined?
address. I'm going to send you a salt lick. All right, let's look over the polls and get out of here. Last week, what was the hottiest Saturday morning cartoon? DuckTales won that with 50% of the vote, beating Muppet Babies. And Tailspin, I mean Rescue Rangers Heathcliff, question mark? And then our second hottie, Friendship, beat Leather Upholstery. Leather Upholstery with a big old zero again. I think that's their second zero, Beck.
I believe it may be my third.
Third, okay.
Third, yes.
Bidet
I'm
with
running my
strong...
own personal Buffalo Bills franchise over here.
God damn you.
Oh,
Bidet with a strong 36%. I voted for Bidet.
Respectable.
And then our naughties Rage and having the same name part deux tied with 36%. Airport Restaurants 27%. So here we are. I guess I won because I won one and I'm tied with the other. So yes. I guess, enjoy that again.
Got to bring that heat next week. Yep.
So I have to really zero in on what Beck can talk about.
Right.
So.
I'm sure I'm going to clean up this week with all the yucks I delivered for everyone. Right. So.
Anytime you could put divorce on a poll, it's going to get numbers.
Hey guys, what's your hottiest terminal illness? Let's really bring things up here.
Who's your hottiest assassin?
My sister Maggie has told me that when she votes in the poll, apparently not every poll, but when she votes, she always votes for Slice. So
thank you, Maggie. I really appreciate that.
So there you go. Yeah.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Maggie, for listening, and thank you everyone else for listening.
Yeah, we hope you'll listen next week, as a matter of fact.
Goodbye, everyone. I love you.
That stays.
We're done, Coco.
Thank you for listening. This has been Two Hotties and a Naughty, a podcast about life's little victories and constant disappointments, as hosted by Michael Beck, Slice Hicks, and Dwight Slappy. Editing and production by Michael Sullivan. Our theme is Handel's Entrance of the Queen of Sheba for Two Oboes, Strings, and Continuo Allegro, as performed by the Advent Chamber Orchestra. Crystal Howe speaking.